But part of what we need to do as we develop professionally is to recognize that it's okay. We need some support sometimes to do that, but it's okay to celebrate our successes and to put our names forward for recognition. As some of you may be familiar with the imposter syndrome. Sometimes we feel we don't maybe belong in some places, and there's some generalizations. So tonight we really want to create an environment where you're going to feel, okay, yeah, I am amazing, and I can do this, and I am going to put my name forward, and discover some ways that we can do that, and do it together. So we've got a great panel. So I'm going to put it out there. So why are you here? Anybody? Who wants? See, put your hand up. Okay, Bonnie first.
So I've won a number of awards, ones that pretty much come out of the blue, and I'm here. What now?
Right. Great question. And we will talk. That's perfect. Okay, we will cover that. It's on my parking lot, but it's on my question list too. That's great.
I'm in the business planning stage of an organization in which awards will probably be an important part of it.
Great.
And so now while I have the time, I want to learn about it, because I know when I get going, I probably won't have time to attend things like this. So I just want to get the knowledge now and be able to use it in the future.
Perfect. No, I think that's great, because one of the things too, when we had our panel call a couple of weeks ago, that was really interesting, and I'm going to introduce the panel in a second, but we have an entrepreneur, some of you know, but an entrepreneur, a professional woman, and a representative from the nonprofit sector. And it was interesting, the different perspectives as we were talking about the awards. And even, do you put your name forward for personal recognition, for some community work or that sort of thing, or if you're putting your name forward for some work that you've done within your organization, either as an entrepreneur or as a professional. And so there were some different perspectives that we discussed in that, and I thought that was interesting. So I'm just going to quickly introduce our panel, but before that, I just found an interesting stat, a study that came out from UBC and the Vancouver Island University, that 64% see the absence of role models as a barrier to develop. That's pretty significant. So I think that's up to all of us in this room to put our names forward, to be role models, and to help others. So on that note, we have some amazing role models on this panel. So right here we have Lois. And if anyone has read any of the newspapers in the last couple of weeks, you may have heard that she was recently recognized as a YWCA Women of Distinction in the Business and Professions category. And that was 2 weeks ago, and that is pretty amazing accomplishment. So that was quite timely, because that was the day after our conference call. So she's also her day job. She's the executive vice president of corporate resources at TK Corp, just in the other office tower here. She's on the board of WXN, which is the Women's Executive Network, and so she sits on the Web Alliance representing WXN, which has been great. And she's very active in the community, sits on a number of other boards, has started a nonprofit, and also sits on the board of Junior Achievement. And in 2012, she was recognized as an influential women in business by BIV. And then, of course, the recent acknowledgement, which is amazing. So please welcome Lois. Thank you. More detailed bios are in the handouts. I'm just going a quick summary, because if I went on these ladies, it would be quite long. So we have Sarah White, and Sarah is the co-founder and COO of Fairware, which is a Vancouver-based company with a mission to drive change through the simple act of buying. Fairware creates custom-branded sustainable products. She's our entrepreneur on the panel. She has also recently been acknowledged. So the Profit 500 list that came out, I think it was last week, recognizing the 500 fastest growing companies in Canada. Sarah and her co-founder Denise were recognized as number 210. So that's pretty amazing. And just to speak to what I was saying earlier, she started at the bottom and worked her way up as she was looking at the list. I hope it's okay that I shared that. So she thought, oh no, I'm number 500, and then she worked her way up and was at 210. So that's pretty amazing. So she has been recognized for a lot of her work through her company. So also she was on the Profit W100 list. In 2012, she was an RBC Canadian Woman Entrepreneur Award Western finalist in the sustainability category. Also that same year, she was a top 10 fastest growing distributor award, recognized for that by ASI Counselor magazine. In 2011, she won the Done Deals Award for We Connect Canada, which is a national supplier diversity program. There are a few people in this room, if you want to learn more about that, both Laurel and Michelle could speak to that. In 2006, she won the Eileen Fisher Business Grant for Women Entrepreneurs as the first Canadian recipient, and also won a Small Business BC award in 2005. And Richard might speak to that. We're just here from Small Business BC. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you. And Maninder Dhaliwal. So she's the Executive Director of TradeWorks, here representing our nonprofit sector. And TradeWorks is a downtown east side social enterprise empowering inner city women and youth for careers in trades. If you go to any events in town, you'll probably run into Maninder. She's very, very active in the community. She serves on the board of directors at the Vancouver Board of Trade, and she has been recognized for a lot of her work in social enterprise and in the community. As in this year, she was a winner of Social Enterprise Heroes Award. In 2012, she was won the Chairs Award for the Vancouver Board of Trade. Same year, she was a finalist for the YWCA Women of Distinction, as well as she won a Volunteer Award of Merit for the Vancouver Board of Trade. So please welcome Maninder. So we have quite a diverse panel, and as you can see, even by I deliberately listed a number of different awards so that you can see the wide array of award opportunities that are available. So I'm going to throw it to the panelists and ask them, first of all, why are we here? Like, why are we even talking about this topic? What's the value? What's the benefit? So,
well, I'll start and just say, it is interesting. We'll talk about this a little bit later, just what this does for your career. So from a career perspective, it does give you profile, and I think there's going to be and some recognition and some opportunities. And so there's some other opportunities that are starting to arise for me from this. So I think you should do it for career. I think it's even more important if you've got a business. So if you have a business, you should be looking at that. And it does help you give profile for whoever it is that you work with. I would be interested in Jill, just saying how many people are corporate chicks? So there's a few corp chicks, okay, and then how about nonprofit? Just trying to get a sense, and entrepreneur-owned businesses?
Oh, actually, I'm entrepreneur, not
okay. Okay, so I just was interested, it just helps us, I think, direct how many comments there are. And so I think it is actually a different strategy for each of us, but no matter where you are in your career, as we said, there's not enough role models. I think it's super valuable to get some recognition and support and things by doing it.
yeah, great.
Yeah, for me, it's really it's been a part of building the business. It's just one of the components that's really important to have external validation. And I think it's Jen there in the front when you talked about getting a business plan together. That the mention of the words we wanted at the very beginning were, of course, there was money involved. But when we just started our business, we applied for 2